So, business leaders say it all the time. We need to prevent breaches from happening. But here's the problem, that's not how attackers think anymore. The most mature security programs today, they don't start with prevention, they start with one assumption: we've already been breached. This is the Authenticated Access Security Signals, and this episode is entitled Containment, Response, and Remediation. Now look, assume breach isn't being pessimistic, it's being practical. Attackers are faster, AI is accelerating everything at machine speed, and your business and environment are more complex than they've ever been. So instead of asking, how do we stop everything, the better question is, what happens when something gets through? Now, if you can't answer the question, when an attacker gets into your network, how far can they actually go? You've got a problem. See, this is where most security programs start to fall apart. Flat networks, uncontrolled data sprawl, over-permissioned identities, service accounts no one understands. But this is where containment comes into play. Having containment means segmenting your environment, limiting lateral movement, and therefore reducing the blast radius. The goal here isn't perfection, it's to make sure that a bad day doesn't become a catastrophic one. In this new era of AI, speed matters more than prevention rates. Your success as a security department depends on how quickly can you detect abnormal behavior and investigate it and make a decision on what it is. Because the attackers don't wait. So if your response takes hours or days, you've already lost control. This is where detection engineering, incident response playbooks, and automation separate mature teams from reactive ones. We need to be able to move at the same velocity of the attacks. Now look, prevention still matters, of course it does. But if your entire strategy is built on stopping everything, you're building on a false assumption. Modern security programs are built on three things: containment, response, and remediation. Because breaches shouldn't be considered a failure anymore, but uncontrolled breaches are definitely where your security program has fallen apart. And now my final thoughts. If your security strategy is still built on the idea that you can prevent everything, you're not behind on tools, you're behind on mindset. Because the reality is simple. Something is going to get in. A user clicks something, a token gets stolen, a system gets exposed. That's not the exception anymore. That's the environment we now operate in. So the question isn't if you get breached, it's what happens in the minutes after. Can you contain it before it spreads? Can you respond to it before it turns into an incident? And when it's over, did you actually fix what allowed it to happen in the first place? Or do you just reset and hope it doesn't happen again? Because hope is not a security strategy. So the organizations that are winning right now, they aren't the ones with the most tools. They're the ones that have accepted reality and have built for it. Containment, response, and remediation. That's what a modern security program truly looks like. And if you're not building that way yet, now is definitely the time to start. Because you don't control whether a breach happens, but you absolutely control what happens next.